is our pal Pete Hailey, Junks Olympics correspondent, checking in live from, have you heard of this city? Paris. What's up, Pete? Good morning.
I like when you go into that voice.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
been a
It's
while.
one of my specialties, JP.
It's also probably a city that you'll never visit.
Paris?
Yeah, you're not going there. Maybe
I would say 25% chance.
1 in 4. Pretty
One
good.
in 4 chance.
Oh, you might get romantic later in life.
I don't know.
Take
have
the
to see.
wife.
We'll have to see what the future holds. What's up, Pete? What's up, Pedro?
Paris, the city of lights, the capital of France, the huge place I've been in for 6 months, and I'm just kind of missing some American comforts, but that's okay because there's 4 days of action left. I'll be on a hello. Also, I'll do this voice one more time, then I'll stop stealing it. You ever heard of a charter flight on the way home Monday?
Nice.
Hold on,
NBC. I can't wait
You get
for that.
wait, hold on. This is way more important than like some sort of steeplechase event you're going to talk about. Give us the details on the charter flight. Like what sort of aircraft? How many people are on it? What are the seating arrangements? What does the catering look like?
So all those questions are great questions.
They're valid.
I've never flown charter. I don't even know what to look for, but I know it's just an NBC-wide charter. There's a bunch of us going home after 24 straight days of work, and I know on my ticket it says food. I don't know how good the food is, but that's fine. I'll be ready for it.
Right.
I don't know where I'm sitting, but that's okay. I'm sure I'm not sitting within 30 rows of Tarico
Well, for
and
your sake,
Craig
I hope
Melvin and anybody else important.
hope
but
you're
it's
flying in
gonna
an
be great
Airbus
regardless.
product. I hope you're flying in an Airbus and not a Boeing.
Yep, that's now the first thing I check on my tickets. We had an Airbus coming over, so I would
Good.
hope an Airbus coming back, but they could sit me on the toilet with some duty already in there, and I'd be happy to come home. I am excited.
Are you there? You're there the whole time without your girlfriend? Has she come to visit or?
No, she has not come to visit, just because the hours for me are so weird where it would not be great for us. She could have showed up and perused Paris on her own and probably had a really nice time, but we figured for her to spend that much money to come sit in a hotel and then for me to come home grumpy after a long shift just wouldn't be great. So we've been texting and FaceTiming, and we miss each other a bunch, and that's going to be a great return. She's going to pick me up at JFK at 4 p.m. on Monday, so she's going to sit in probably 6 hours of traffic both ways, but she's doing it out of love.
That's all right.
You and Tarico can show her the Eiffel Tower.
That is a heinous joke. That is
It's a great joke.
All right. So
God.
what are you seeing? What are the big events that we can look forward to here in the last few days?
Before he gets to that, I did marvel at your tweet from July 31st, Pete, at Pete Hailey NBCS. As you were out in the wild, you were watching the BMX freestyle final. You tweeted a picture of a woman walking around on the streets of Paris with an alternate Commanders Chase Young jersey.
What?
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Not even just an alternate. It was a gray alternate. This woman must have been like so lost, but it was, I had to take my phone out. So yeah, I was strolling home after the BMX final, a riveting show of biking. That's about all I have to say about that. I liked when the people fell. That was very entertaining. And yeah, on the sidewalk on the way home, I just walked by and I said, hey, that looks like Redskins colors. Oh my God, it's a gray football team Redskins Commanders throwback, and it's Chase Young. So that was the weirdest jersey I've seen by far.
Bizarre.
But yes, in terms of the events you're asking about, Eric, there is a ton of good track and field today. The U.S.'s track team is racking up medals. They have 6 golds already. They only had 7 in Tokyo. They have 19 total medals after only having 26 in Tokyo. Look for Noah Lyles in the 200-meter. There's also a couple other guys in the 200 meters. So we could be looking at a potential twofer, if not a podium sweep there. And also the 400 hurdles for the women. There's going to be a really good showdown between Sydney McLaughlin Lavroni of the U.S. She is sick. There's a woman from the Netherlands named Femke Bol, no relation to Manute Bol, for those wondering. And if Valdez can find it, she's gone viral recently because it sounds like when she talks, someone's given her a glass of helium and then said, like, talk like Mickey Mouse.
Oh, I know. I've seen the clip. Yep.
But she as weird as her voice is, she's even better at running and jumping over hurdles that are spaced about 9 meters apart, I learned yesterday. So that's going to be a very cool final. So the U.S. track is probably the headliners from here on out. And today is supposed to be really good medal-wise. One more guy from Chesapeake, Virginia, Grant Holloway. He's going the 110-meter hurdles, and he just blew away the competition in the semifinal. Oh, God, excuse me.
You okay?
Semifinal. So,
Hey,
look,
you know what?
yeah.
Gather yourself. I think we have audio of the woman that you were talking about.
It was amazing. I mean, it was such a strong race. We were all running so fast, multiple running in the 50s, so I knew I had to go out fast.
That's real?
Yeah. It sounds like Rahm's wife sped up about 50 times.
Oh, my God.
Hey, how big of a
Screaming at
story was
Rahm.
it in France? It was a big story on the Junkies, the guy who knocked down the bar, the pole vaulter with the bulge.
Yeah.
I'll say the Junkies paid more attention to anything dong related than we do on NBC's Primetime in Paris show, which is viewed by millions of people every night and tries to be somewhat professional. So we did not cover that. I think it just missed the rundown. If we had 3.5 hours instead of 3, we would have done it. But we tend to pay more attention to things like basketball instead of like men's.
Your show
men's
was too
women.
packed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not
that-
talking about hog.
Yeah, that's an entire segment for the junks.
Oh, yeah. It's a bonanza.
It's actually, and we did a follow-up the next day.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
about
I'm sorry to say that hasn't happened.
So you didn't do the pole vaulter chick that was twerking? You didn't do that one either?
Nope, no, we didn't get to that either. Tarico was not necessarily going for that.
Has
We're
he yelled
trying
at
to
you
just
yet?
Focus on the action.
Is
No, he is no yet. And he could yell at me if he wanted to. Like I would have no problem with one of the greatest of all time yelling at me, who we just met a couple weeks ago. But he is extremely friendly, pats me on the back, does inside jokes with
Have
me.
you
It's nice to-
disappointed him at all yet?
Early on, so there no disappointment, but there was one fact I gave him where it was like blah 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 has won gold, and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, let's just be sure, Olympic gold, okay? When you give me these, let's just mention Olympic gold, because the World Championships and all
point.
these other kinds of gold medals." And it was like, yeah, that's a great point. But he's on our daytime show, he's on our nighttime show, probably 3 hours on daytime. He's weaving in interviews with Carmelo Anthony and then like a handball player. And then he comes with us. He sits, he eats dinner. Then he's on TV for about another 3 hours, and he has to just know everything. And it's I think this is my third hit with you guys. I've said it all every time. It's so impressive to watch. He handles it with ease.
He's
up till 5 a.m.
Yeah,
and
he's a stud.
he's built for this, and I am could not be more in awe of the guy's talents.
What about, have you had interaction with Snoop?
Snoop has been in my general area. Last night, I wanted to sneak a selfie. He was behind me getting mic'd up, and he's about 8 feet tall, and he was wearing this ridiculous Noah Lyles jacket, and I wanted to take a selfie, but I was afraid he was going to see me, call me out, and then have one of his entourage escort me out of the very nice cafe we're working in.
Yeah.
But that's another guy. He is like he's as goofy off air as he is on air. Like, I was thinking maybe he had that personality on air, but then he'd come through and he'd be kind of grumpy. No, he's doing his goofy Snoop bits.
It just seems like
Yeah.
a genuinely good guy.
Go shizzle, Pete.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice
exactly.
10-year-old reference.
Well, these want to know, did he reek of weed when he was when he was behind you?
No, I did not smell any marijuana. If he wants to smoke, I'm sure he could do it, and nobody would bat an eyelash. But he's doing a really good job. One of our executives calls him an ambassador of happiness, and I think that title fits. He's at all these games. He's interacting with.
I think he's been a star of the Olympics.
Players' families.
Pedro, can you confirm or
I
deny?
totally agree with you, Eric.
Confirm or deny that Snoop Dogg is getting paid something to the tune of $500K per day by the corporate overlords at NBC?
Did you guys have a pre-show meeting and say, hey, let's get together and let's try to ask Pete as many questions as we can that could get him fired? Or hey,
you can
Valdez,
deny.
bring your best Eiffel Tower reference for this one. Okay?
Well, menage a trois is French, Pete.
I definitely can't confirm, and I can't deny it either. But whatever Snoop is being paid, he deserves it. He's going all across this city. He's delivering a whole new audience for us, and he's doing it with a smile on his face. A couple nights ago, he and Martha Stewart came in, and they were clinking champagne glasses after a day at dressage. They were wearing their goofy equestrian outfits. It was really funny. So Snoop has done a really good job. Other people we've had in our office include John Mulaney, Simone Biles, the men's gymnastics team, Katie Ledecky, All these just megastars come by, sit with Mike Tirico, do interviews with the Eiffel Tower in the background. So
What
8
about
to 11
non-sports
Eastern.
besides Martha Stewart and Snoop? You know what I mean? Like, what other non-sports celebs have you run into or seen?
Yeah, Alex Cooper. Have you seen Alex Cooper?
The caller daddy chick.
Yeah, I've seen Alex Cooper. She was on the red carpet during opening ceremonies. Al Michaels and Bob Costas have been walking around. I know that's sports, but those are two Olympic pieces of true royalty.
Does Al
seeing them
walk
with
like an
Tirico.
old man, or does he walk like a normal, 65-year-old
Be
guy?
careful again.
Yeah, don't get
careful
fired.
He puts a foot in front of the other, and he gets from point A to point B. There's no pictures on the scorecard with Al Michaels. All right, he's walking totally fine,
All right.
and he's still got that sultry voice.
I mean,
So we certainly focus more on the sports athletes. There are other shows like Alex Cooper. Maria Taylor has a show where they get some maybe more of the celebrities, whereas we try and get like the biggest gold medals of the night. So Cole Hawker, who won the 1,500 meters a couple nights ago for the U.S., a few hours after that happened, he was here celebrating. So who knows? Maybe we'll get somebody like Noah Lyles
Let's be honest.
if he gets the double.
if Pete said anything bad about Al Michaels, he's not flying charter home from Paris.
Al Michaels is an
Exactly.
NBC.
Be swimming home.
Al Michaels?
He's not NBC,
I'm not
right?
finishing this phone call if I say something bad about
Al Michaels
He was here
used
at
to be
Flick,
on
and then I will,
Football Night in America, which is a huge NBC product.
Oh, he is
He
NBC?
used to be. I don't know if he still is. I can't confirm.
Yeah, I mean, he's Amazon now, but we're
Yeah.
pretty friendly with Amazon. And like Al Michaels, he's like, he's like the retired athlete, but if he shows up to your practice or shows up to your game, it's like if B Mitch goes to Commander's Park. They're not going to be like, oh, B Mitch, you're with 106.7. You actually can't come through this door anymore. He's good for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he's
okay?
good.
He
He's got
can
cred.
hang out with us.
Hey, what'd you think of LeBron putting the crown on his head when they were cheering the French swimmer?
It was funny, but also like, dude, I guess LeBron gets to this point because he has a major ego. But just because people are clapping, imagine being in a world where you think every time someone claps or cheers, they're doing it for you. Like, hey, LeBron, you're on an NBA court with 15 other All-Stars, and it's possible that people are looking elsewhere. But good for LeBron for doing that. Leon Marchand is probably the biggest winner of these games. 5 medals, 4 golds. He's 22. That guy, his Instagram DMs have probably overloaded with just inappropriate photos and requests. He's been a true gift for these French people. The French people have showed out for their athletes, and if you're so inclined, the French are playing Germany in a semifinal today for basketball. And last time I checked, Germany pretty heavy favorite, and I saw Germany in person play Greece a few days ago. Was so uninspired. They squeaked by Greece, which was Giannis and then a bunch of guys with 15 vowels in their last names. So if you like France today against Germany, I think that might be worth some of your FanDuel plays. If you're doing I don't know what day it is. If you're doing the FanDuel parlay, which you probably aren't, but that'd be worth it.
Are you looking for
any of your listeners?
Are you looking for a Bilal
maybe look
Koulibaly
for that.
breakout?
Yeah, have you been swept up in Bilal Koulibaly mania over there in Paris? Because that's my guy.
Yeah.
And I'm getting attacked. Pete, you don't understand the level of attacks I'm taking here in the studio for being
he's your
pro
guy.
Koulibaly.
He's your guy.
Okay?
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Cakes wants to pick the splinters out of his
mentioned-
butt from riding pine.
Yeah. I mentioned Leon Marchand as the true winner of these games. On the opposite end of the spectrum, and then go 10 more meters.
Don't do this
That's
to me,
where
Pete.
Bilal Koulibaly is.
Don't do
He is
this.
the most useless player. And
Oh.
also, by the way, when I was at the Germany game, I saw 2 former Wizards players. Can you guys work together to figure out who the 2 former
they've got
Wizards were?
Mo
on the
Wagner
German
is
team?
one.
Mo Wagner
Correct.
certainly won.
Ooh,
And-
the second one.
And
Ooh.
Hold
he's
on.
even more obscure, but
Wait.
you guys have definitely mentioned his name a bunch of
They
times.
never had Dennis Schroeder.
No, Schroeder's never been on the
Correct.
squad. Who is it?
That's
Oh,
about all I know
oh.
on the team.
Is it the guy that EB used to be obsessed with? And I would just goof on him all the
Dude,
time?
the 3-point
Hold
sniper.
on.
Who,
No.
Luke Shenson?
No.
Luke Century.
He's
18 years
Australian.
old.
Probably about 3 years ago is what I would guess he played for. Kind of a 3-and-D without much of the 3, if you know what I'm saying.
When you say his name,
All right.
I'm going to be distraught, but go ahead.
Isak Bonga.
Your guy. That's
Oh,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
I saw
telling
him.
you, I couldn't
I
pull
saw
his
him.
name.
Does he have like?
He stinks.
Does he have like blonde hair there? He dyed his hair or something?
He's got blonde hair,
Yeah.
and when he makes threes, he made like 3 threes somehow against Greece. Again, Greece was awful.
Yeah.
Giannis looked like he wanted to destroy every one of his teammates. He was barely listening to his coach. He looked so punched out. He does this weird thing where he like puts his hand over his face. I was trying to figure it out, but I was sitting too far away, and also was overwhelmed by how smelly everybody is in France. That arena stunk to high heaven. These people do not put deodorant on, and then I had to ride a metro 20 stops back to my hotel where everybody's got their arms up on the bar, like holding up. And I thought I was going to faint.
What's his
deodorant?
speed
I don't know what the upside is. You remember?
You're
remember
such an ugly American.
No, he's actually.
I'm an ugly American.
He's an American that
Deodorant
practices good hygiene.
Basic human right. Whatever lady. Remember you guys had that lady on who like went viral because she didn't put on deodorant? She should come live in France because she'll get dates and nobody will look down.
She'll
upon
fit
her.
right in.
Francis.
Shower for a week.
By the way,
France. There you go.
I
She
thought
would fit in
EB's guy
perfectly.
was Garrison Matthews, by the way. And I thought maybe he had some sort of
Is he
German.
out of the league?
German
He
passport.
had a weird thing for Isaac Bonga, too,
Yeah.
a few years ago.
I just thought he could play.
But
Bilal Koulibaly wears number 99 for France. He should wear 0 so it matches how many minutes he gets per game.
I am taking this as a personal attack from Pete Hailey from thousands of miles away. We used to be boys.
Yeah, so-
We used to be tight.
By the way, speaking of basketball, Cakes, we're still boys. Speaking of basketball, today is the 32-year anniversary of the Dream Team winning its gold medal game against Croatia. They won by 32, and that was the biggest sweat they had of the entire tournament. So that team was pretty good. And yes, the women and the men are still both alive. The men play. Oh my God, who do they play today? Oh,
Serbia.
No,
they play
thank you.
Jokic.
They play Serbia. They play Jokic. They beat them by 26 earlier in this tournament. They also beat them by 26 in July in a pre-Olympic exhibition. So look for them to win by 26, move on. They'll see France in the final, and it will probably be riveting for about a quarter and a half. And then LeBron will do things and make people actually cheer for him instead of the swimmer, and U.S. will win by 25.
I'll root for Koulibaly against the
that's your
United
basketball
States.
report.
You're rooting for
Yeah, you better hope
Koulibaly.
that the U.S. wins by 30, because then Koulibaly can get in at the end and throw up a couple like ugly 15-footers and tell everybody he played in a gold medal game.
I feel so attacked.
I think Germany's going to
Yeah,
win, by the
sorry.
way.
All right, JP, you and I, we can make a little side bet,
Sure.
and it can be $3 since you guys never bet anything more than that.
Yep.
And then neither of us will pay each other because we're really far away.
Oh,
and
we can
and
Venmo.
you
We
guys
can
get-
Venmo. I'll
guys
bet you
get nice enough
done
to have
deal.
me on your show.
$3
I will
deal.
say, doing these hits has been a real treat. I
Has
know
been
you guys
fun.
are probably Olympics out, but it's been nice to kind of remind me of home. And I've really enjoyed catching up with you guys, and it's been better than talking about the Commanders, although I'm sure you guys would rather be talking about that at this point. But yes, the Olympics have been a real treat, a highlight of my career. 24 days in a row, 16 days in a row of working until 5 a.m.
Oh, my God.
But I wouldn't rather be anywhere else except maybe back in my friend and my cat.
Hey, you did have a room to yourself, right?
Yes, a really nice room. It's a hotel
never in
called
it.
the Malia on the Champs-Élysées, which is like kind of the fancy strip here in Paris.
We don't.
And I've walked around a little bit, and I got my girlfriend a Goofy shirt from the merch store. If you wanted to go to a place that makes you want to spray your brains all over the inside of a hotel room, go to the merch store at the Paris Olympics. It was like the last place on earth anybody would ever want to go. Everybody was elbowing for shirts of like the Arc de Triomphe on it and to pay $40. So that was exhausting. But I wanted to bring some merch home for my girlfriend. It's been really
We
supportive.
don't encourage our listeners to call Pete's hotel when he's trying to
No,
nap
we
before
would
his
never tell
before
them
his
to do
shift.
that, ever.
Yeah, they
Oh,
definitely shouldn't do
I
that.
actually, someone called me on like the third day, and then I picked up and nobody was there, and I unplugged the phone. So if you did call, it would go right to voice.
EB, how many
the maid
whistles
here?
in 24 days?
Oh yeah,
for Pete?
gold medal in whistling.
Well, listen, Pete has a different work ethic than us, though.
Right. No, he's working a lot.
He's working till 5 a.m. There's no time to whistle. And he probably just crashes as soon as he gets in his room, right? I'm going to say
Yeah.
under 5. I'm going to say under
Oh,
5.
yeah, under.
No, I'd find Alex Cooper for Gluck Gluck.
I'd say under.
Hey, over or under 5, Pete?
It's honestly probably, and I don't want to sound like Jason Bishop.
Yeah.
I'm usually a man of pretty high testosterone. It's too tiring. I work 13 hours. I need to sleep about 8, and then the other 3, I'm walking around trying to find a baguette for lunch. It's maybe 5, but it's definitely not over. And I'll tell you, the last 10 days, it might be like 1.
Wow.
It is crashed into a wall. There is no energy flowing through this body.
Understood. All right, well, Pete, we have loved having you on.
At least
Safe
he didn't
travels
claim
back,
0.
Right.
And we'll talk to you again soon, man.
Okay, you probably won't. And I don't cover the Commanders anymore, so we probably won't talk soon. But talk to me on Twitter, DM me, text me. I'll message you.
Hey, you
I'll
could
message
be a
after-
Commanders guy. You could still be a Commanders
No,
correspondent.
it's fake, but I do. EB, I'll be watching your golf swing from afar. Cakes.
Thank
I'll
you.
be liking your gifts about the Money Metal Cakes Classic and
Perfect.
JP.
Love it.
When you tweet out pictures from your vacations and free shirts, I'll be shaking
Yes.
my head at it. I miss
Perfect.
you guys. I love you guys, and keep crushing it over there
Yep.
stateside.
Good hearing
All
from you
right,
again.
thank you,
That's
buddy.
Pete Hailey,
Be
Junkies
safe.
Olympics correspondent, checking in from Paris. We'll be right back.